we go. And today on Coaching Clinic, we're looking at life knows what it's doing. So get out of the way. And I think this is a really important topic. I know it has been such a game changer for me personally. And it seems to be a lot of what I'm helping most of the people I work with, with this whole piece around getting out of the way, not working so hard to try and create, to try and achieve, but rather aligning back with the energy, the life force energy that put us here in the first place and letting it move us. Now, a lot of people worry about that because they have this, well, we've been brought up in a culture really in the Western world with this concept that if you leave yourself to your own devices, you won't do anything. You won't be disciplined, or you won't get around to implementing or creating what you've been wanting to implement or create. And that's simply not true. I mean, on today's coaching clinic, I really want to break through this myth that if it's to be, it's up to me. Because we're all walking around with that myth as if that is where our power comes from. And as I've gone along on my journey, and as I've witnessed clients go along theirs, I've just really seen the easiness and the flow that occurs when we let life move us, let life live us. And how arrogant are we to think that we're in charge anyway? I mean, I liken it to the same energy that turns acorns into oak trees and turns embryos into babies and knows how to heal wounds and heal hearts without you and I really taking much to do with it. Because this energy, this life energy, call it source, call it God, call it life, call it wisdom, call it nature, call it whatever you want, it doesn't matter. It's all coming from the same thing, which is this beautiful power, this divine power, this divine energy that's got your back. And I know that as I speak to people more and more, as I come back into my coaching work and being of service, the one thing I'm noticing over and over again is this tendency for people to make life harder than it needs to be, especially when it comes to a business or a career, but in particular, just making life harder than it needs to be. People are walking around frustrated, exhausted, not content, not vital, not joyful. And sometimes we can get habituated to that and think that that's all there is. That's just what life is. That's just how it goes when you get older, or when you suffer a loss, or when your business isn't working out the way you'd like it to. But actually, it's got nothing to do with any of those things, and everything to do with the fact that we separate ourselves from this divine energetic force that has our back and speaks to us through wisdom, speaks to us through ideas, speaks to us through repetitive nudges. We take the reins and then make life more difficult as we start to get into habits of worry, habits of making life happen, habits of pushing and striving and forcing and over-intellectualizing everything. Now, that's an innocent human trait. That's an innocent human mistake. And on today's coaching clinic, I just really want to help you both through the visualization and through the coaching and anything I share. I want to help you connect more deeply to this divine power that's on your side, to this part that is living you, is breathing you, It's the same energy that's looking through your eyes right now at me. You're not doing the looking. So as we begin to get more familiar, get back in touch with this part, we see our lives get easier. We notice a flow. We notice that we're not sitting on the couch wondering when we're going to get around to finishing that thing or doing that thing. We notice we are being moved gently into action. We fall back into alignment with our true nature. And alignment trumps everything. You could be sitting for months at a time, wanting to create something, wanting to do something, wanting to finish something. And in this space of a couple of hours, it's done because you suddenly have fallen back into alignment, and the energy of life, that divine power, moves you into completing or doing whatever you need to do. So please don't worry that if you get connected to your true power, to this energetic force that's breathing you right now, that somehow you're just going to contemplate your navel all day, or you're never going to get anything done. Okay, it doesn't work like that. And there may be a period where you are being called to rest. I think many of us in this particular season at this particular time have been called to rest. I think COVID also has been a call to rest, right? Away from the striving and the pushing and the moving and the doing, and into, let's fall back into alignment. Okay. You may feel that in this calling into alignment, in this falling into alignment, there is a period of rest for you. You know, I remember when I began to explore these principles behind life, I didn't realize I had been living so mentally clouded, so revved up all the time, that actually when my mind started to quieten down, I was really exhausted. I didn't realize I had been living so hard, striving so much, that it took me a number of months to recalibrate. I remember that. I let myself off the hook and I retreated because it was needed. And I'm not saying that that has to be everybody's journey. I'm just saying that you want to be patient with yourself as you come into this reconnection. You may be tired from all the pushing and juggling and managing and thinking that you've been doing. So just setting the table with that, we'll go into a visualization now to support you in just getting more familiar with this divine power, this energy within you. And I don't think I have to sell it to you because when you taste the flavor of this, you really wonder why you were living the way you were living, or why you'd want to do anything else. Because the flavor of this reconnection, this connection, is so delicious and so easy and so harmonious that you just know it as home. You just know it as perfect for you. And in that feeling comes creativity, comes peacefulness, comes ideas, comes the ability to act on things, comes the motivation, comes the energy, comes the enthusiasm. So however you're feeling right now, prepare to feel back home as you get out of the way. And this visualization will help you get out of your own way and back into what life's got truly in store for you. So let's close our eyes, taking a deep breath in and out. Feel the shoulders relax. Any tension being allowed to simply melt away. We're going to breathe on a count of 4 to begin with. So we're breathing in for 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Out for 4, 2, 3, 4. Keep that going for a few moments. Feeling your body sink into the chair or the bed, wherever you're sitting. And just letting your hands just be placed on your lap. So just like that, it's absolutely fine, or on the tummy, wherever feels right. And I want you to just visualize roots coming from your feet, down through the ground, down into the underground, right down to a rock at the bottom of the earth, and wrap those roots around that rock. This rock emanates golden light. See this golden light now, pushing up and moving up through the rock, through the roots, through the underground, the ground, the floorboards, and into your feet. And in your own time, in your own way, just move that golden light all through the body. Take a few minutes to push that light up all around every single cell, every bone, every part. See this light covering all of you. And now that you have this light around you, supporting you, guiding you, I want you to see in front of you a beautiful golden path that you're going to walk along. And as you walk along this path, you notice things that you want or desire just springing up, popping up. They could be material or they could be something else. They could be ideas that you want to implement. It doesn't matter, whatever pops up. There could be a core desire that you have been wanting, but been getting in your own way around receiving. To just walk along the path, noticing what's occurring and what's appearing. And up ahead is a body of water. Walk towards it now. This water is gentle and it's healing and it's warm. Sit next to it and just place your hand in the water, just smoothing out the water. Feel yourself enjoying that. You notice little water lilies floating. Maybe there's little animals, little fish. Just see whatever comes to mind. The sun is beaming down upon you. You can feel it now on your hair, on your neck. And you're just relaxed by the body of water. Now I want you to see an animal, whichever comes to mind first. Let this animal approach you. Don't have any fear. This is a power animal and a friendly source. Notice its color. Notice its demeanor. Notice its beauty. And invite this animal to sit with you now. Just enjoy the moment together. Noticing that this is another form of life, another representation of life expressing through the body of this lovely animal. You can trust this animal, you can trust this consciousness that holds its own wisdom and its own clarity. And take a few moments now, whether you see an image or you hear a word or you get an idea, to just ask this power animal, We had a little interruption there, but hopefully you got some extra time to get that question answered. So remaining there with that beautiful animal, and feeling well and feeling connected. If there's anything else you want to ask for clarity on or wisdom about, you can do so now. With permission, you thank this consciousness and you begin to walk away from the water and onto the golden path. And you come back down the path gently, gently, gently. And you bring yourself into this moment on your chair or on your bed or on your sofa, completely relaxed. Breathing in through the nose, 2, 3, 4. And out through the mouth of the nose, 2, 3, 4. Let the body fall, the shoulders fall. In through the nose, 2, 3, 4. And out through the nose or the mouth, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you to imagine any project, any thing that you've been procrastinating on, or you've been having a hard time finishing, or you just keep shutting yourself because you haven't got to it yet. And I want you to just set the intention that you're open to life moving you at the right time to complete that. So you can open out your arms, or you can mentally just visualize yourself doing that. And you're literally stretching out and welcoming life to move you to completing, to finishing, to starting, to resurrecting that. And you're setting an intention now that you're committing to falling back into alignment. Whatever it takes, however long it might take you, doesn't matter. You're committing to falling back into alignment. And from that place, you will get the impulse, the desire, the enthusiasm to complete, to start, to resurrect, to act, to finish. From that place, things will get done. You're letting go the need to control, be in charge, or dictate how it's all going to happen. You're getting out of the way and letting life move you, lead you, inspire you, direct you. Give thanks for this mentally and breathe in and out. Put a blessing, if you like, over the concept, the idea, the project, the book, the blog, I don't know, the house build, what the business venture, whatever it is that you're particularly wanting to act on or move towards. See it covered in that golden light you just surrounded yourself with. And know that as you are in alignment, it will all get done even more easily, even more gracefully, even more quickly. And see roots coming from your feet down through the ground, down into the underground, right down to that rock at the bottom of the earth, and wrap those roots around that rock. Feel yourself grounded back to where you need to be. Feel your spine elevated. Feel your shoulders back. Centered, your whole body centered. Feeling well, feeling free. Bring your eyes gently open. And if you want to write down anything, do so now, including the type of animal that showed up for you. Later, you can even Google the spiritual meaning of that animal. So, even if life is feeling topsy-turvy, even if you've been going through procrastination, which is often a form of wisdom, often the reason we're not getting things done or completed is because we're just not yet in alignment with that, with matching that thing. And yet the moment we fall into alignment, which is our true nature anyway, we just get it done quicker than we even thought we would. There are things we could be putting off for months and we get it done in the space of a day when we get out of our own way. So there can't be any more serious work, my friends, than being in alignment, which often includes things that society judge, things like resting, things like taking your siesta if you have to after lunch, things like not running from one activity or one engagement socially to the next, things like enjoying yourself in the moment, taking pleasure in something, spacing out on watching movies and Netflix and reading books, moving your mind into a new story rather than your own. All of these things, exercising, walking, being in nature, are all being versus doing. Aligning is being work. And society and your ego mind will probably have a field day judging it. But it's what's going to move you forward. It's what's going to allow you to manifest and create what life wants to express through you. Love to take your questions. Doesn't have to be just about this, can be on anything. Feel free to come on. Feel free to comment, share. And just enjoy the quiet space you're in. Does anybody have something that they want to ask today or that they want to hear more about? Oh, we've got a quiet group. Okay. Robin, did you have something?
Yes, please. Thank you. Just had a thought. Do we ask and listen, or do we just do these things that you're suggesting are in alignment and an idea might come to us, even though we're not thinking about it or asking about clarification at that point in time?
Yeah, and you know, those are not universal suggestions. Those are just, you know, I want you to do what feels correct for you.
Mm-hmm.
I find for me, when I'm constantly asking, I'm not in the space where I can get answers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it's funny because it's at that time, it's like we think the more we ask and the more we pray and the more we try to figure it out, the answer will come. Actually, it'll just spring to mind, literally spring to mind as you're in that being mode and you're not searching for an answer.
Okay.
That's why many people report waking up first thing in the morning and having a clarity. Because their mind, they've been out of the questioning for a certain number of hours. And so they have a chance to hear something or get an idea on something. So, you know, I'm not saying don't ask. You can ask, but you don't even have to ask. You know, like life knows what it's doing. Does that answer your question at all?
Yes, that does help. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Was sort of wondering because I often don't get answers either when I've been asking.
Yeah.
So I had wondered, but yeah, an idea will just pop in at the oddest time that you're not even thinking about it, and something will flash in my mind. Yeah.
And it's catching those, Robin, you know, because those are it's getting familiar with those and catching those that's good. That's important. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Does anyone else have a question or a comment? And you don't have to have, I mean, it's okay if you don't. Sometimes I think the meditation or the visualization supports us in quietening down enough that the questions start to fall away. And sometimes it supports us in hearing something we want to ask. Joe, did you want to ask something? I see you came on.
Hiya, yeah, please. So I've had a battle with trying to lose weight for like years and years and years. And I keep finding a way to move forward, and I'll do it for like a week or something like that. And then as soon as I start to see that I'm feeling better, or anything, like the tiniest thing to show that I'm moving forward, I just slam on the brakes and shut down, and I just find myself going round and round and round in circles, and I can't seem to move forward without stopping myself. So I don't know what to do.
So what does slamming on the brakes look like?
It used to look like eating a load of food that I know is not going to help. But more recently, it's more just going up in my head and round and round and round in my head, saying like, what am I going to do? I need to find a solution. How am I going to do this? Blah, 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 blah. So it's more sort of noisy head rather than action based now. So I guess that is like progress. But I just kind of feel like I've got one foot on the gas pedal and one foot on the brake pedal, and I'm not going anywhere.
So would you say you have a firm belief that weight loss is about what you eat?
No, not as much as I used to. I used to, but not as much as I used to. And so like from what I'm saying, you can see that things are moving forward, but it's just painfully slow. Yeah.
Okay. So it is moving forward, but not on your timeline.
Yeah.
Well, that's helpful to see, isn't it? That's helpful to know. I mean, that's like, get out of the way. It's not on your timeline.
Yeah.
It's it's funny that, you know, we sometimes don't trust that life knows what it's doing when it puts a certain number of kilos or pounds on us. That somehow we don't accept that actually the weight we are is what life has given us and suggesting for us. Like I guess what I'm trying to say, Joe, is what if the weight you are is exactly what life has wanted to express through you?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it like that. Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it like that.
Because it still goes back to, I'm in charge, I should fix it. I do have the power to look a certain way because I'm in human form. We do have the power to change things. But what if your body's perfect for your purpose?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Doesn't mean you can't change it up, but it's another way of me saying to you, hey, Joe, what if life knows what it's doing, even when it comes to weight loss or weight gain?
Yeah. Okay. Fair point.
I hear progress in what you're saying. Like, I hear you saying, you know, that there is progress, but and you're noticing that you slam a brake on. Well, what if you're not slamming a brake on? What if life is just expressing an absolute desire to eat a load of rubbish for a few days?
Yeah.
And what if that didn't have to mean you're off the wagon, or you gain all the weight back, or you gain 3 pounds in a day? What if it's just metabolized? Because your own wisdom knows when to stop. Like, can I ask you this? When you slam the brakes on, do you eat for 24 hours in a row?
No,
Why not?
because I don't want to.
What do you think gets in the way?
My wisdom.
It's physically impossible, right? 'Cause
Yeah, yeah.
there's a mechanism designed in you to stop you at some point. Can you see that?
Yeah.
You can trust that. It's the same reason that an alcoholic falls asleep.
Mm.
There's, you know, there's the mechanism, there's an inherent divine power in us to reset the system. No matter how much damage you think you do by slamming on the brakes, at some point you stop, don't you?
Mm.
Well, I'd like you to get curious about relying on that more than how well your diet's going.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Is that helpful or hopeful?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. I once did this course collaborating with my colleague, and we called it Taking the Weight of Your Body Off Your Mind. And we didn't talk about diet or weight loss once. We just talked about this incredible system inside of us that knows how to stop and say no and when enough is enough. And because people couldn't trust that system, they thought they needed to try a different diet. Because people didn't really trust that there was this inherent power, it's the same power we're just exploring today, they thought that they needed to be in charge and in control of what they put in their mouth. And they each had a belief that what they put in their mouth was what led to weight gain or weight loss. And it was really interesting because some of the slimmest people on that course ate far more when we looked at a food diary than some of the heaviest. But the one thing that they all had in common was this innocent habit of focusing their mind on their body and their weight, which was often a disguise for other stuff, but it was just a habit of thought. Some people have habits of thought about money, some people have habits of thought. It's all part of the worry habit, Joe.
Yeah.
So if I'm not worrying about this person, I'm going to worry about my weight. If I'm not worrying about my weight, then I'm going to worry about my debt. If I'm not worrying about my debt, I'm going to worry about my future. I'm going to worry about my relationship. It's the never-ending circle of the worry habit, just jumping to different places. Right? So you can trust the power within you to know when enough is enough. And as you do so, you'll be less inclined to override that. You can trust the weight you are is perfect. Yeah. I hope that's been helpful. You're so welcome. Marie-Pierre, did you want to ask a question without coming on video? No problem. Where do you want to ask it?
Hi, bonjour Grace. Hello everyone.
Bonsoir.
Thank you for this call. I feel you already partly answered my question, but I will still ask. I've started, so I have some certifications in English, and recently I've discovered hypnotherapy and hypnosis, and I've started a new certification to become an hypnotherapist in French. And I really felt, I mean, I had some sessions myself, and this is how I discovered it. So I really felt the desire to explore this modality, and to learn about it and to practice it. And now I'm like, uh-oh, because I know that how it started when I started to get certifications in English in coaching. And I don't want to repeat the pattern, like the exact same pattern, trying to do the same thing, but in French. Does that make sense?
So you had an impulse that you wanted to do something, and you've decided to do it, and now you're worried about it.
Yes, because in the past I did certifications and a lot of things, and at the end it didn't give me the results I wanted. And now I'm like, okay, I actually doing this in French, and I really want to make this work. And there's the fear of just, I don't know if it's a real desire, or if it's just a pattern that I have to just keep learning all the time. Because I'm always learning. I'm always in a certification, or I'm always learning something. And I want to be able to offer it and to practice it and to.
Well, I would enjoy being in the learning of this modality. I would encourage you not to put a gun to your head about this better work or else. We've explored before, Marie-Pierre, that life moves you in different ways. And what I can hear in you is that life is often moving you to explore and to learn. That there's an enjoyment that you get from that.
Yes.
But the moment it becomes, I have to do something with it, I have to make something out of it, then the enjoyment dissipates, the worry sets in. Suddenly, you're not in it for the learning anymore, you're in it for something else. And of course, disappointment can unfold. Be curious that life moves you with an impulse. That's what I heard. Like, oh, I started doing this and I enjoy it, and then I wanted to do it too. And like, I would trust that.
Okay. Yes, because I'm already feeling guilty of the money I invested to get certified as in this modality. So I think I think it's more, yes, I think it's again about the money guilt of spending money on learning.
Your power to turn this into something that gets paid for, that makes the money back, has nothing to do with this modality. As long as you convince yourself that you getting somewhere with your desire to help people is about the modality you use, coaching, hypnotherapy, Reiki, healing, whatever it is, then you diminish what the true reason people are going to come to you. Because people really don't care what modality you use. If I said to somebody, come to me for coaching, and I share with them that they're going to get let's say their desire was that they wanted to feel at peace, that they were just so fed up with feeling so afraid of life and so exhausted and so depressed all the time. And I said to them, well, I've got something that will help you actually turn all that around and experience peace. And it might be the first time you experience deep peace in your life. Are you open to that? They will say yes. And I could then say, I'm going to sprinkle fairy dust all over your head, but trust me, you're going to have peace at the end of it. People don't care if you sprinkle fairy dust. They don't care if you use hypnotherapy or you use coaching or you use something else. They just care that at the end of being with you, they feel better. And the best way you can help people feel better, Marie-Pierre, is in you feeling better yourself first. And that's what I hear happens for you when you follow your impulse. You're feeling better, you're enjoying something, so you go for it. And then you kind of scare yourself about it, or you make it more serious than it needs to be. The power within you, another way of saying that, the life force within you that wants to help people is the thing that will draw people to you. And should you decide to use coaching with them, or should you decide to use hypnotherapy with them, or should you decide to take them to that gorgeous island that you come from and give them a good time, doesn't matter. As you're living in your well-being, they are attracted to that. They want more of that. They seek that. They look for that. They trust that. They can smell that. They experience that. And sometimes you just don't think that's enough.
Right. Thank
What if
you. I already feel better.
just enjoy the learning? Enjoy the learning. That's life expressing through you. You're just judging it. All right.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
Good
much,
to see
Grace.
you. You're so welcome. Anybody else got a question, a last question or a last comment?
Yeah, may I, Grace? It's Robin.
Yes, sure. Go ahead, Robin.
Thank you. I just want to say to excuse me, to yourself and Marie-Pierre, sorry, to Marie-Pierre, I just so resonate with what Marie-Pierre was just saying to you, and your answers back for me were like extremely helpful as well. I think that's just given me so much insight with what you just said, because I'm very similar to Marie-Pierre, it seems. I'm always learning and loving it. And there's always new things coming up that are just right at the right time that I have been wanting to learn about. And as you know, I've been wanting to coach for years and help people, and I still haven't done that for myself. And I've got so much of all of this that possibly I can be sharing with them in so many directions. And I thought like that was not making it clear for me, because it seemed like I had interest in so many areas. So when you
Mhm.
say just enjoy the learning, like that's, and people, and if I then can just show that I'm in well-being, that's what they'll come for. And at that time, then we coach them on whatever it is they want to be coached on, right? Using whatever I may know to help. But yeah, that's
Exactly.
helped. I just thought it was unclear. I just thought, why am I like an octopus with so many tentacles, right? With all of this interest in love and learning.
And it goes back to life knows what it's doing.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
You know, we're the ones judging it. Oh, I'm like an octopus. I could say the same thing if I go upstairs to my wardrobe and I go, oh my God, why do I have all of these clothes? I mean, I don't need all of these clothes. But one of the ways I know life expresses through me is in style. And that's just, I could go up and judge it. I could say, oh my God, I've spent all this money and blah, blah, blah. And sometimes I can't even fit into those clothes and blah, blah, blah. But it's like life knows what it's doing. Life wants to express through you. And our job is to fall into the enjoyment and rather than the judgment. And as we do, people get a sense of that from us. It's not that we have to prove our well-being. No, you just live there. Can you imagine how well you will be, Robin, as you're in the enjoyment of learning versus the judgment of what you're spending your money on? Or you're in the enjoyment of learning versus wondering where the hell is all this learning going to go? That's like me saying, that's like me saying, oh, look at all these clothes. Where the hell am I going to go with all these clothes? Well, I might not take my clothes with me everywhere I go, but I'll bloody well enjoy the experience of either buying them, trying them on, wearing them out. But I'm not, I may not take them with me everywhere. Okay. So wonderful that you shared that. I'm glad there was resonance there. And thanks for the question, Marie-Pierre. When we ask questions, we help everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. And
Well,
thanks,
thank you,
Marie-Pierre.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you everybody for today. I hope it has been helpful. I am looking forward to being with you next week. You'll get the topic in advance and you'll get this recording in your inbox soon. You may have noticed in your inbox and in some of the emails that I have offered a new offer, one-off coaching sessions. It's not something I've been doing much of in the past, but something that I just feel called to do with individuals who just want to come in and focus on really getting back to this gorgeous creative power. So if that interests you, get in touch with me. It's really an opportunity to get out of your own way. And it includes a guided visualization tailored to you. But have a look at your inbox if you want to learn more about that particular offer. And I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Lots of love, everybody. Ciao.